We're live.
New vibe.
Are we live?
Where's the camera there?
The camera's right there. Yeah.
How do you do this?
Oh yeah. Oh, now it's live. Woo. We're live, everybody.
Welcome back.
Hello. I'm David Bruce, composer.
What?
Oh, you got a notification.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
It's working.
Hold on.
Hello. I'm David
What?
Bruce. Let's talk about minimalism.
Well, here I'll do like a little acting of a minimalism. I'll act minimalistic.
No, it's more like act minimalistic.
think-
Act minimalistic. Act
No, I
minimalistic.
think you should do your impression of David Bruce Composer channel.
Hello, my name is David Bruce. We're talking today about something cool, like Indian talas or something.
Okay, I'll do one. Okay, I'll be like, bangers and mash. Got a British roast.
We're being sensible.
Okay.
Oh yeah, sensible, right? Okay, cool.
So I don't know if any of you just saw over on Ben's channel, we did a really insane live stream, which I've never done any kind of live stream before. So
You're doing good, man. You're doing really good.
We're gonna try and I thought we'd try and be sensible, but I don't think we'll manage.
No.
We can try for a couple of minutes.
You got Ben on, man. It's just
We'll see how. I guess it's up to you guys to lead us whichever direction you want us to go in.
Well, I mean,
So,
we got
let's see the
questions
questions.
already. Yeah.
Nerds. That's us.
Nerds. Yeah.
Nerddom looks
NERDZ.
like.
Actually, nerds would be spelled with an S at the end. It'd be
I think you'd find.
NERDS. But you went NERDZ.
That's really profound, Ben. That's really
That's
profound.
clever. That was.
I
that
thought
was
you were gonna
clever.
hit me first.
Yeah,
Like,
no, it's okay. That's
like,
fine.
oh no.
So what are our questions?
Give us some questions, guys.
Thoughts on performance art / conceptual art and music?
Have either of you guys ever done, like, what's the farthest out piece of conceptual art you've ever been part of besides just the Ben Levin live stream that we just did?
Well, I was in a band called Mr. Gavin's Meat Farm where the band leader had me. This was all consensual, but it seemed like he was bossing me around. He had me stripped down to my underwear, and then he would throw deli meat at me and pull my hair. And he took the bass player and put the bass player in his shirt in his armpit for a whole solo. And he would go into the audience and be like, "Everybody leave," and everyone have to go out of the venue. And then we'd all go out of the venue, and we'd kind of talk about if we were going to continue the show or not.
That's very. That feels like a very Ben Levin sort of situation. I've never been part of anything like that, but I have been part of a show where we performed. It was literally thousands of dollars invested in this. Oh no, this was great. Performed at a wrestling arena, a full 1,000-person wrestling arena, with all of these Broadway actors. Nobody showed up. Literally nobody showed up in Philadelphia. It was great. It wasn't performance art, but it felt like performance art because he had the lead on Spider-Man in the musical singing some crazy thing to literally nobody in a wrestling arena.
I had a party like that at college once.
An arena.
Yeah, that was great.
Polyrhythms, why use them?
Polyrhythms, why use them? Your video on polyrhythms was really awesome. The old school polyrhythms, the 9/8.
Yeah, that crazy one. I've known about that for a long time. That somebody pointed that out to me years ago. The Chopin
was a crazy.
Chopin 9/8.
Yeah.
I'd say personally for why use them, it's it creates an alternative sense of flow because there are all these polyrhythms kind of happening in your world all the time, and the pace of your step to your heart to your breathing to your tapping on your phone, everything you do is happening concurrently in a way. And when you lock into a very intentional polyrhythm, I think it makes you feel like you're snapping all these senses together, and it's one of those pre-verbal feelings of connectedness that happens even though you're playing two disparate things.
Yeah, because you just by living, you have your heartbeat and your pace of your feet, and so there's a lot of polyrhythms going on in your body, basically.
Well, that's the embodied cognition thing, Vijay Iyer, Do you know Vijayair? Do you guys know it? Yeah, amazing pianist. But he has this whole thing because he teaches, I think now at Harvard, and he teaches some classes about embodied cognition and how like the way that we walk and breathe,
Breathing, of course, yeah.
but like all relate to specific tempi that we all know. But the idea of like that being polyrhythmic, like walking is at 180, whereas breathing is at 60, whereas like all this stuff all combines, and once we get everything in sync, it all kind of makes the most sense musically.
Do we have a responsibility as artists and composers to address some of the big issues like climate change in our art?
Responsibility as humans, maybe. I am weirdly skeptical about the ability of art to affect change, to like create change. In other words, like it's almost like kind of a cynical way of thinking about it, but I don't really think of a piece of art changing the world. I think it's a reflection of a feeling wanting to change the world, because I feel like art is a reflection of a sentiment rather than something that affects larger change. Maybe I don't know.
I feel almost like it's very in today's world it's very just to be as purely creative as you can is in itself quite kind of political. It's kind of like it's like because you can get sort of lost in a argument, or you can just say I love all this stuff and kind of like try and give off that kind of vibe to the world. And I sometimes think that that's quite a big thing to do in itself.
Yeah,
I've done it. It might be a nice easy cop out. I'm not sure.
I think on very specific issues, it's hard to say that art is like incredibly valuable for one specific issue. But I think in general, it gives people something to live for in a lot of cases, like something to be excited for and to look forward to. And there's a fundamental optimism to that makes you, if you're on the fence, should I let the world burn or should I do something? You're like, it's actually easy to be on that fence if you get into a nihilistic streak. But music and art, I think, helps kind of evade destructive nihilism in a way, because it's like, all right, I don't know if there's a point to any of this, but I really like that show on Netflix. I really like this music.
And I also feel like it's, one of the things that most of the art that I love doesn't preach to you. It doesn't give you a clear answer. It can't, it's usually good because you kind of find your own answers in it, and that kind of then that's what resonates with you, and because they've come from within you. And so quite often like political art tends to just leave me cold because it's like, well,
Yeah, well, it's because nobody likes being proselytized, but everybody is always being convinced in one way or another. It's just you don't want it to be so overt. The irony, though, is I love Rage Against the Machine to death. And their political views, I might sympathize or not sympathize with them, but Rage Against the Machine hits every bone in my body every single time, because they write some really heavy riffs. That Bulls on Parade.
Do you feel
F sharp? Those F sharps hit really hard, man. Those are good F sharps.
Do you feel like once you're in a physical state from music that it changes your idea of your own potential, your own capabilities? Do you ever feel really pumped up by the Rage Against the Machine, and you're like, you know what, I feel like I can do blank?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it is like a mood altering, conscious altering, etc. altering state that you can get into, and that might be the reason why people want to try and use it for political reasons. I mean, all art is political, I think, in one way or another. You can't help but create art that is a reflection of your own views about the world around you.
Pop the audio, somebody's saying.
Oh,
is it loud enough, guys?
They need lapel mics. Oh, well, sorry.
I can turn it up.
Check 1 2. Well, we'll do our best. We don't, we'll do better stuff.
Sorry for my friends in the UK. This is, what is it now there? This is 1 a.m. or something, probably.
Check 1 2. Maybe this is better. I don't know. Check 1 2. Is this any better? Check 1 2. Hello. Check 1 2. Maybe?
I tend to mumble anyway, so.
Pump it up. Bit low, please. Check 1 2. I disagree. All right, whatever. Well, we'll find out.
David Bennett. Hi, David. Nice to see you.
Oh,
Oh, wow, how's it going? Like your videos, man.
Yeah.
It's better. Sick. All right, cool. Just turn the gain up on the microphone. That's how it works.
that's pretty cool that you knew about that. from
And that I knew how to turn
your
up the volume.
experience. Yeah.
Well, every experience leads into another experience. That didn't sound.
Oh, there's a lot of comments.
It sounded more profound in my head. Like,
Every experience leads to another experience. It's true.
damn, that's really
That's like
deep.
saying time moves in a line,
Wow.
which doesn't necessarily, but through the theory of entropy, it explains that if you crack an egg, it's harder for that egg to ever return to the full state than it is for it to become more and more chaotic. Similarly, our comprehension of what's happening is going to move in a more and more complex direction, which makes our perception of time linear, but maybe everything happened at once, but the future is more complex than the past, and we can't fathom we can't perceive going backwards because of how complicated the present is.
Yeah, I
Future.
agree. Rage Against the Machine is really awesome, man. Yeah.
Oh no, I was talking. I'm sorry, but I don't get your joke at all. I'm gonna pretend to be ignorant of your joke.
No, it was supposed to be. Anyway, sorry.
Oh, you went to the past.
Yeah, that was the joke. Anyway, sorry. We promised to not
the
derail
entropy. The entropy. Now I'm on the chair.
it. What? Sorry. What is the question?
So anyone Luke is asking about how did we all gravitate towards unique specific sounds in our composition? So like think like in how do you find your
Voice.
and your style? How does that come?
The way I always approached it was always asking the question, do I like it, to basically
Yeah.
everything. Do I like this thing? Yes, no. And that is one of the more profound.
It's actually quite hard though,
Yeah.
to really be honest with yourself about that.
It's
And
profoundly
especially when it's
difficult.
something like really corny that you love and you don't want to admit it to yourself. I've had that quite often.
Or if you don't have a strong opinion one way or the other, and then you feel like you need to have an opinion of whether or not you like it or not. Or like, I
Well, that's
don't know
enough
if I
though.
like it. Yeah.
Surely if you don't have a strong opinion, then you know it's not quite good enough.
That's true, but when you're in the beginning stages of like learning how to be
Yeah.
an artist or a composer,
Mm.
you're gonna everything sounds cool. Which one is the right answer? And then
True,
it's
yeah.
like a whole process.
Yeah, you
of,
don't
like-
need to rush it, I guess.
Yeah.
That thought process, but
I mean, for me, that's what it is. Do it like, how did you find what you do?
I think that for me, a sense of humor and a sense of like fate, like kind of obsession with death, kind of is what it shapes how I respond to everything, and that includes music. So
Like obsession, like knowing that you're going to die, and therefore, I need to do something right now. I need to. Mortality.
part of it.
Mortality is.
I-
So I try not to think about it, but that's interesting.
I think of death as like I think about death as the I guess catalyst to embracing life.
isn't that more about making music rather than the actual a voice and a sound?
I think that the voice and the sound comes a lot from what you instinctively think you like, and stuff that makes me feel really connected to the moment is so valuable to me, because to me, like, I don't to me, like, death, thinking about death isn't bad. It's just like anything that makes me feel like between this point and the death point that that time was meaningful. Anything that draws that feeling out for me is like it like blows up in my face, so in a good way. So yeah, when I'm listening to music and it's like making me wake up in a way, like stop just thinking about my phone or whatever other thing I'm doing, if it just like pulls me.
When you're saying, Adam, about the things you like and all that, the one thing I've had noticed, well, I had the feeling, a strange feeling about it, was that there were some composers that I really liked, and sometimes I would try and imitate them, what they were doing, and after a long time I realized that just wasn't, I wasn't capable of that thing that they did. That was their thing, and I had to sort of there was a difference between things that I liked and things that I was capable of, actually. So that was part of understanding that there were, some aspects to music making that aren't in my arsenal in the way that they are for some other people. I think sort of coming to terms with those, your limitations, I suppose.
I studied in grad school with Dave Liebman, who played with like Miles Davis and great sax player, and he had a whole lecture on like how to become an original, how to approach being an original artist systematically. And one big thing that he harped on for a while was like throw away anything that's not yours, even if it's what you love. And we were like, okay, cool. We're like 22, like we're trying to be everybody right now. But that was a big part of the lecture, was like to throw away stuff that's not yours, even if it's something that you love. And that's the hardest thing to ever do, because like, I would love to be shreddy jazz fusion boy like Evan Marion, just a really amazing jazz fusion bass player. And at a certain point I was like, I'm never gonna be able to play that stuff, even though that's like I really, really enjoy it. And so a lot of the whole process is being like figuring out, okay, well, I like that. I'm not gonna do that. I can't do that. I mean, that's an interesting thing when you're talking about like mortality and death, and like, is this worthwhile for my life cycle from beginning to end? The stuff for me that feels like it's the most worthwhile is the stuff that feels the most genuinely original, where I don't have to worry about if I like it or not, or if it's mine or not. It's like, well, that's fine, who cares? Like, it's mine. But then the stuff that, I have to worry about, I guess I'm more conscious of. It's like you just want to lose consciousness. That's basically it.
I'm like viscerally skeptical of the idea of throwing out everything. I like the idea of making a big unidentifiable mush.
That was another part of the Levin lectures. Like, I'll use anything as toilet paper. It's like, use everything.
Oh, so it's both.
I don't even know.
Maybe you can. Yeah.
I mean, like, what's an influence that you love but are never going to be?
Well, I guess I'll never be like any of them, though. I'm not trying to be snarky to your question at all.
Yeah.
Like, I just know I'll never be any of them. And like, I can't, like, the things that I love about them are special to them. It's not just the technique of like, my favorite artists or their lyrics or any of it that makes it what it is. It's like, it's the delivery mechanism,
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, like, it's like a good cover, right? There's like a couple ways to approach a cover. One is to make it your own, make it so different. One is to play it so accurately that it's like an impressive technical feat, and like that you could like nail every sound. And then I guess like the other one is basically you do it exactly like them, but it's better. And that's like rare and like really weird, because most people like the original better, but then there's like a couple times I think where there's been just like minor differences, but like, oh, it's like I prefer your voice or whatever. But man, like aiming for that is like to me the most serendipitous one. That's the one that takes the most luck and just relies on the public like accepting you a lot. But if you aim for the do your own thing or be really true for it, you might end up like beating it. But like, you know what I mean? You don't want to aim for that one. So I think if you're like, trying to be anyone, it's unfruitful.
We're getting a lot of people saying it's like composers therapy, or three introverts trying to entertain.
Three introverts trying to entertain. I can be more extroverted if that's what people want. I can talk more in this voice. Hey, everybody. Welcome to David Bruce's channel. My name is Adam Neely. Filling in for David Bruce today.
We expended a lot of energy in the previous stream.
Oh my God.
And I'm jet lagged as well, so I'm even less entertaining than usual.
Take off my clothes later, really entertain people. Any other questions?
Your knees are very bent.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, very on brand, man. Oh, that's great.
I gotta plug the band all the time. Sit like this.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, Adam Neely sits like that.
Yeah. Bent knee.
Hey.
Go to the concerts. This is what you do at a bent knee concert. This is the proper protocol.
Everyone's
So
like,
someone's asking
fun.
why I'm in America. I'm here for a new string quartet which is premiering in Dallas on Monday.
Are you gonna reveal
It's it has a Neely-esque
a twist?
twist, yeah, and that it's called the Lick Quartet, and we've just been talking about the Lick, which I'll put a video out about the piece and everything at some point. But it's a kind of there's like I was comparing it to Shostakovich's DSCH motive in his 8th string quartet, where he kind of, it's not like the main theme of the movements, but it's kind of there in the texture. So I was trying to like take the lick seriously and use it as a real theme. So that's
like real melodic material.
kind of, yeah.
rather
So
than-
anyway, it's one of the, I've had I'm actually really happy with it. We had a rehearsal in Philadelphia. Was it yesterday? It feels like ages ago.
I wasn't there. Why do you look at me?
I'm just trying to- and so I'm really excited about this piece. I think it's one of my better ones, which I definitely don't always feel. And it's a really hard medium to write for string quartet. It's like really hard.
I love it.
And I've been really struggling to, for many years I've done smaller little things, but this is my first like really
like the
serious attempt to do a real piece. It's a 20-minute piece.
You were playing some of it earlier, and the musician, like the ensemble,
Yes,
that's
the
playing-
Dover Quartet.
yeah,
Yeah, amazing.
killing, like really, really great stuff. Even if it was just like a rehearsal recording, it sounded so good. So can't wait to hear the final version on YouTube.
So anyone from Dallas? How long have we been streaming? I have no idea. Forever. It's dinner time. We're
We've
going
been
for dinner
streaming
soon.
21. Oh, there's 400 people watching. Oh man, all right,
In
great.
Dallas. Do you want to know where in Dallas? It's the Dallas Chamber Music Society.
I'm surprised
commissioned
that
it.
gets you.
And I can't remember the venue. I'm sorry, but I will post about it.
Don't you feel
Somewhere.
numb?
Yeah, I don't feel anything. That's right.
Oh.
Like, Adam, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to like talk over you. You were saying relevant logistics for your quartet premiere. But Adam was like, "Wow, 400 people are watching." I was like surprised that
Yeah, I'm
that
surprised.
affects.
Thank
I
you,
mean,
guys.
I'm surprised by the number certainly, but I'm surprised that it still affects you.
Don't look at me.
We're trying to read the comments. I was also meeting with a guy today who has a 6-string violin or viola.
Ooh.
So it goes down to, it has the violin strings, but it goes down to an F.
Ooh.
And the F string was very, very juicy.
Yeah, that's,
so we were talking about maybe trying to do a little video, and maybe I'll try and write him a little piece. So I was asking him like, how do you do the, bowing?
Oh, that's the
effects
perfect
across
clickbait. Like 6-string
Oh, yeah.
violin? Question mark? Exclamation point.
Stay tuned for that one.
Oh my god, that's so good.
I wish I could get your input on my titles in general. It's
Yeah,
like
I send Tantacruel my thumbnails
Oh, yeah.
for like review.
Oh, you
That's
got
cool.
your thumbnails are great.
Yeah, never quite.
7516? Question mark.
I think that was probably based on your what was the one, your early success was
The quarter offbeat triplet off.
yeah.
quarter
So it
triplet.
was just like a black thing with just one.
Yeah.
So that was kind of nicked from that style.
And
It's,
there's-
it's all just a desperate attempt to get.
Yeah.
Where is Tantacruel? He's in our hearts. He's just he's back in the UK, and he's just released his fantastic new video, which we've all been loving.
Yeah, what's it?
He's been had a very busy period, and so I think you're gonna get more from Tantacruel in the coming months. I think he's gonna have more time, so that's cool.
Is he gonna like tear apart Dorico? I feel like.
He tears apart everything.
Yeah, he tears apart. Yeah. What should he tear apart next?
I would love if he would like roast my channel or something.
like roast the
Yeah.
design decisions of that
Yeah,
fucking channel.
oh, the design decisions. Yeah, you would destroy.
Oh my god, I'd feel so self-conscious, ruined.
He would. Yeah, he would have a lot. I bet he'd
We
have
were
a lot to
talking
say.
yesterday about the interesting like difference. Like we're all fairly positive in the way we talk about things, and but somehow he is a positive force, even though he's basically most of the things that
like ripping it apart.
I guess it's a
he's,
humor, but
he's the critic, whereas we're like all like, I think
Check out this neat thing.
we're trying to be mentor like, and
That's
then
true,
he's trying to be a critic who helps like expand. We're both trying to expand knowledge. He's expanding people's awareness of like some things that are maybe a bit messed up in the world. That from shedding light on them, they get fixed. For instance, the design decisions.
I did not know that Sibelius was so bad.
Well,
I did know. I did know.
I think it's like useful if you know, if you have a really good, well thought out critique of something and it's like fact checked and it's online, like that's so helpful for getting like the bar to keep going up for how good of a job people should do.
I tweeted that Sibelius video and like the somebody from Sibelius said it wasn't Daniel Spreadbury, who seems to be really good when he's he's director now, isn't he? But somebody from Sibelius said actually he's talking about a previous
Oh, shut up. Oh, shut up.
Lame.
Shut up. Sibelius is a shadow of what it used to be. Sibelius 6 is where it peaked.
I think like Tantacruel has a video where he talks about, is it called sonification?
Oh, the data sonification, yeah.
And
that was
he
an
makes a point about how you could be like, here's my drum solo that's about 9/11 and get grant money and get people to be like, oh my God, yeah. But he's just taking advantage of, it's like manipulating people's emotions by taking this non-abstract, non-musical thing that everyone has a feeling about and then saying, this represents that. And that's like much different than just making something that evokes the feelings that are meant to be there, but instead just being like, stamp, here's some traumatic thing that you have strong feelings about, here's some music for it. It's like kind of messed up. And I never would have thought of it that way, but it makes me think about what I do, you know, in the ways that I maybe play into that. And that's really handy, really useful. I think it makes us, if you're being honest about it, it helps us. I think his channel and his critiques, as negative as they may be, they help us kind of weed out our BS.
It's very brave, isn't it? It's to do. I'm always struggling to make, you know, those kind of
like a bold
opinion.
Be opinionated.
Adam's done it a couple times, and
I have. I regret most of the times when I take bold opinions, but and yet I do it still.
My favorite, well, it's not really about that, but I was just thinking about the live streams and stuff, and I remember I caught your sort of somewhat drunk. Was it a Thanksgiving?
Oh my God! Oh please!
So
oh jeez! Oh,
that was a long time
that
ago.
was a
That was
long
the way to do it with the bottle in your hand.
Yeah, so for about 5 hours on Thanksgiving evening, so it was from 12 midnight to 5 a.m. I just drank. Oh yeah, it's long gone from the internet. I just drank a bottle of wine and then live streamed it, and I was drinking. Yeah. So for the longest time, I had weirdly romanticized the idea of doing drinking live streams with my buddies, and then I watched that. I'm like, this is. Like, by the end, I'm just slurring and, like, saying, like, Charles Mingus, Black Satan, the Sinner Lady. This is the best song. What's that? I'll play it. It's so good. It's so good. Let's just listen. Oh, my God, it's so good. Dude. And that's what it is for, like...
That's good acting. Like, seriously, you just became that guy.
Because I am that guy frequently. It's just not live on air.
So funny.
It's just not live on air. Yeah, if I'm drinking and you see me ever in the real world, I'll probably be ranting about Charles Mingus. That's all I can think about right
and
now.
Topanga from Boy Meets World.
Yeah, Topanga. Very
Mingus and Topanga.
Thank you,
Very
Carl. Thank you, Carl, for putting the venue where my premiere is. Anyone who wants to find
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's the the Caruth Auditorium. I hope you're right. I'm trusting you in SMU campus in Dallas.
Cool. Have you ever been to Dallas before?
I haven't. No.
Neither have I.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right. It's probably dinner time, isn't it?
Yeah, we're going to go to a vegan place. We're not telling you where. Please don't come. Oh no. Oh no, there might be people.
What are we likely to? I mean, part of me would really like to do a drunk live stream.
It's not as.
It would be.
I mean, it's a lot of fun. Don't do it on your main channel.
Kind of.
Do it. No, do it on Instagram. So then you delete it and nobody watches it. I've done that before.
What would you and me, Ben, rant about? He says.
If we had a rant,
If we were
if
doing
we
a
were
drunk,
going to be
a
more
drunk
critique,
rant.
you know, I would probably.
Neely.
I would be like, I would be like expressing my distaste for the fact that the value of every YouTube video is placed next to it on the bottom in the views and likes.
But you don't need to be drunk to do that. You do that anyway.
I do that anyway, but like these are the things I would probably get really like hard on, like certain YouTubers that I think have the opportunity to.
Sorry.
Well, they could positively influence the shape of like the way that we YouTube, and instead I think they.
I know you're talking about that because you were talking about this last time.
Yeah.
We won't say.
But I can go. I'll say happily PewDiePie, for instance. I think he still thinks he's an underdog because no one takes YouTubers seriously. But he's not an underdog, and he has, I think, incredible potential to teach like young people, like, be an example of like this is what we could all be like. But instead, I feel like it's like all about how do we hide ads in everything, and how do I like just continue being here at any cost. And I don't know. I just get disappointed with the way that we lose a bit of our humanity by chasing an algorithm's desires. Even if it's a reflection of humanity, we've all kind of lost where it is, like, and where it starts and where it ends, and where we start and where we end.
It's a general annoying feature of the data world that we live in, that everyone is thinking about the numbers in a way that they never used to, I think.
Yeah.
Well, the irony is, like, the most human connection I've ever made with any YouTubers who aren't musicians, it's all about like the analytics and like chasing that feeling of like the numbers, and you know, it's a nice human connection to talk to other people who are like gaming YouTubers or beauty vloggers or those people. But it feels strange sometimes that this is the reason, like this fake thing. It's not fake, it's real. We're live streaming to a bunch of people right now.
Yeah.
But, you know.
There's this book, Homo Deus by Yuval Harari, and he talks about this, how we had theism, where it's like, if you have a question about life, what to do, you ask God. Then humanism, you climb to the top of a mountain, you look in your soul, and you think about your humanity, and like, what does your heart say? Dataism is what does my Fitbit say I should do? Not what is like one critic who I think is a cool human say, but what is an aggregation of all critics on Rotten Tomatoes say? And we, in a way, have turned data into a moral truth, in addition to being like a calculation from a scientific point.
I'm not sure this answers what we would say when we were drunk, because it sounds a bit too eloquent.
No, this sounds like the conversations that just would come out. Like,
Yeah.
But then
You're a computer now.
Datism.
Dadaism. It's
Dadaism. No, datism.
Yeah.
A second.
So I feel like I'm missing some kind of meme in the. Like everyone's like saying, say trans rights. I don't see what the big deal is with saying.
It might be the same guy.
What? No, it's a bunch of people who are saying to say it.
Oh, trans rights. I mean, it then became like a weird. I feel like it's turned into some weird like co-option of that too, but sort of trans rights. Meaning, like,
what's wrong with like? Why do they need you to say it or not?
Well,
say it?
yeah, I mean, because it says that you're an ally.
Oh,
but
okay.
then it's
if
like,
you say it,
yeah.
An ally? Oh, okay,
but then it was
fine.
weirdly. I feel like it's been weirdly co-opted. Anyway, whatever. I don't know.
It's
I don't pay
complicated.
attention. I don't pay attention to the YouTubes.
Well, if anyone's wondering what my stance on it is, like, yay, trans rights. I don't have any. I don't think I need to be told to say that, but I'm happy to say it. Okay. And you don't have to feel any pressure to say anything. But I'm just like reading it and learning about the internet by being on it. So thank you.
That
for being
feels like what I do every day. Like,
yeah.
All right. Well, this is the meme that I now have to like. Whatever.
Where do you stand on memes? Like I never
I'm
think about
for
that.
them.
Like, yay, memes.
I know one of them.
Yeah.
I've created a brand around one of them. By the way, I buy the Lick T-shirt at Adam Neely.
I tried. Yeah, we were talking about on Ben's live stream that we did earlier. That I need a meme and a catchphrase. So
Hello, I'm David Bruce.
Apart from hello, I'm David Bruce.
Oh, you do it so well. You just did it. That's so good.
I do want to. I'm gonna say on the record while people are watching, I love your videos. I love them, and I really don't think you
Dude,
need to like
you
be
can't say that.
optimizing.
Let's make a big love in.
They're
We all love each
fantastic.
other's videos.
Well, okay. Objectively, my videos are the least
Are the best.
consistently good. Your videos are really fantastic, and every one seems like such a an amazingly well put together thing, and I'm just always impressed that that you guys you do such a good job. I try to do a good job, but like my stuff's sloppy poppy. It's just so all over the place. I don't even have a plan. You guys are good.
I mean, the key I feel like is always to just make videos and make stuff that I would watch if I was 15 years old, because I was just having this conversation actually last night with Rhett Schul, who's this really awesome guitar player. He has this great YouTube channel about like touring stuff. And his whole thing was like, man, imagine if like when we were 15 years old, we had YouTube.
Yeah, I know.
I'd be like, whoa! I would be freaking out at what's going on. I would be like, the quality of stuff that's out there, in addition to, terrible stuff, but the quality of good stuff is unreal. Because when I was 15, I was watching like...
Someone just said 4 eyebrows and 1 Adam Neely.
That
should have been the title.
No, it should be 3 eyebrows because I have a unibrow. That joke could be improved.
Your joke sucks. It could be so much better.
Well, Adam's got eyebrows, even
I
if
do,
he
but they're
isn't
not.
Adam Neely.
They're not. They're not as impressive.
Yeah. Well, no one's as good as Steve.
Oh my God. They're so
Witam
good.
mordeczki. What does mordeczki mean? Witam zgri. This is Polish.
Oh, now they're talking about.
What are some other?
There's probably some rude word in Polish, I think.
Okay.
Mówię po polsku, jak coś mogę powiedzieć. Haha.
I don't speak Polish.
Pretty cool that. Yeah. Here you go.
I hope I didn't say a rude word because my wife taught me Polish, so I swear like a 6-year-old because she only lets me. She's never taught me any of the proper swear words.
It's like, oh, that's a good.
Oh,
one.
like a little
So
6-year-old.
I
That's
need
so
like
funny.
yeah.
You can
I say
only-
you poop and things like that.
You're a duty caca guy.
That's funny.
And the opposite in Spanish. I lived with a Spanish guy at uni. Whenever there was a word that I didn't know what it meant, I asked him, and it was always, they always have these really crazy
very
words like I shit on the prostitute mother kind of.
Yeah.
things like that. Sorry, mum. if you watch it.
Merde, como, maman, putain.
Mi
So I
madre
only swear
quiere.
like a
Puta.
like a builder or whatever.
Puta is a very important swear word
In
that
Spanish.
you need to know if you live around here. Puta.
Mi madre y yo tenemos muchos niños. I think.
How dare you?
Right?
How dare you?
My mom and I have many children. Is that right?
Oh,
Right.
niños.
I think that's right.
All right, 3 awkward introverted composers
Yeah,
try and swear
That's
in
a new
Spanish.
series.
Yeah, 3 awkward composers, 1 dancer.
Okay.
One bro.
Or we were talking about it.
What were we talking?
I
We're talking about dinner.
Right.
Yeah.
But yesterday we had an idea, I had an idea, and I don't know what you think of it exactly, and it might never be a thing. But it's 5 composers, 1 dancer, so it's like 1 dance performance, but 5 different people score the same dance.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like a big clip of a dance.
That is cool.
You just
Or like a movie clip. Like we could collaborate with like
Yeah.
a filmmaker. That'd be
that
kind
would
of
be
fun.
cool. Oh, instead of just getting a pre-made one, someone makes one for it.
Do you get people kneeling for Adam Neely? We were literally gonna do that. Today.
Kneeling for Neely. Yeah, I've heard various jokes about that.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Do you ever think like sometimes what they mean is because your last name is Neely, so like the word Neil is kind of in it, like in terms of sound, but not spelling. Not spelling.
I didn't even think about that.
So, cause like it's kind of funny, cause like the Adam Neil, like if your name was Neil,
Like
I would
Neil
get it.
Armstrong.
Neil
Okay,
Armstrong.
I get it.
Everyone's always like, Neil Armstrong, can you pick me up with your strong arms? Because actually, it's not strong arm; it's
Wow.
Armstrong. But they're
Yeah.
flipping it to
Man, the
'cause-
word play that people
Yeah.
have sometimes is blowing my
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah, it's like
Blowing my mind
red
right
or roses are red, violets are blue.
Anything we can do better next time, guys? for the next live stream, let us know.
I feel like
Before
this
we
was
sign off.
entertaining, but it's not educational, but it was entertaining.
What do you think?
What scares me about live streams is I don't know how it comes across, and in the way that I consider it on my normal videos, and it kind of freaks me out to know that.
Well, I
This
mean,
is all going out there.
well, it's also it's going to be unlisted. Nobody will have to see this ever again.
I do think that there's a certain because nothing is edited, they see your humanity a little more. Therefore,
true.
we can make mistakes or say things that are not that well thought out or not that well
Cleverson
expressed.
feels sorry for me.
Whoa.
Thank you for your. Don't feel sorry. It's the happiest day of my life.
Oh, is it? Oh,
Meeting my heroes.
I would say the birth of your children, marrying your wife,
Way down there.
hanging out with Adam, Neely, and Ben Levin.
Oh, look, Simon Bransman's here.
Simon Franzman. That guy.
Oh, yeah.
That guy
He's
is
so funny.
the god of jazz memes. Do you know Simon Franzman's work?
Yeah. I've
Okay,
seen
cool.
lots of you. Yeah.
There's-
It's the best. It's the best. It's the best thing on YouTube.
That one where you and Amy are in it, and he's got that guy with the black hair that's spiky and weird.
Yeah.
Man, that's a good character.
The weirdest, darkest one was something about your parents arguing while you're watching Adam Neely
Yeah.
videos and listening to Bill Wirtz. So dude, this is heavy.
That's so real. It's so good.
Oh God.
Do you know, Simon? Do you make all your models? Do you make them? I'm very impressed with your vibe, but maybe he'll answer. I don't know. Someday.
He did the original animation for Adam Neely's New
Rick's.
Horizon. Not the Adam Neely's Bass Lessons. That was mine. But he did.
Question or no? Oh.
No, he did another. I've stopped using it, but I'll show it to you at some point. All right, you done?
Oh, I make
I
most
made
of them.
most.
Cool, amazing, Simon. Great job. Thank you for making all those models. I enjoy looking at the way you make them move.
Cool.
Great. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me on my breaking my live stream virginity.
Yay!
And
now
it
you
was
never have to
painful,
have
but
sex again.
It was painful and exhausting, but
We've been
at the same time fulfilling.
Yeah, we've been live streaming a lot today. Oh my gosh! All right. So then you go to OBS and then you click
Stop streaming.
Stop streaming.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Bye
Cheerio.
Have
Hello.
a great time.
My name's
till
David
next time.
Bruce. Is that how you end?
Yeah,
How do you end your videos? Or is it
I'm
thanks for
David
watching?
Bruce. Goodbye.
Okay.
I just do a
You
variation.
can check out David Bruce's Patreon at patreon.com/David.
Nice.
David Bruce Composer or David Bruce.
Buy my new lick T-shirt to go with my new string quartet.
It's we've all.
Oh, you should sell. Okay, this would be cool. You should sell the sheet music to your the first page of your lick
Yeah.
string quartet. So it's so it wouldn't be my lick T-shirt.
And then it will tell everyone that Adam copied me. He's trying to cash in on my.
Excuse me.
My
I have
meme.
the data-ism. I worship data, so I know the timestamps are already there. So it's my truth that the timestamps occurred before.
That's fake news, Adam. Fake news.
Okay.
I feel like David Bruce, you could sell posters. They'd be
Anyway.
you're
Okay. Well, we'll continue this off the camera.
All right.
Bye.